Hey everyone, it's Will. Hopefully you're having a great day today. I see bottom here 94. What's going on? How are you doing? See the comment there. Appreciate you tuning in. And all of you guys, feel free to comment in the comment or in the live chat with the ticker symbols that you would like for us to review today. We'll be going over the ticker symbols for this upcoming week. Welcome back to another Sunday Stock Talk. Again, my name is Will Rich, and I'm here to do some analysis on any companies you guys would like us to break down. Kind of a quick overview on what we got going on today. Let's see if my screen can load up okay. Is it working all right? Let's see. There we go. Okay, so quick after hours. You see some red here towards after hours, or I guess pre-market for this next week. Hi, what's going on, Biggie? How are you doing today? You want to take a look at SoundHound? Let's take a look. So top AI stocks. You want to take a look here. Your top five: nuclear, semiconductors. We've been covering mineral companies as well as AI defense companies, drone tech, all that's good stuff. AI data centers, AI and LLM is going to be where we're going to jump in right now. You got SoundHound here. So first ticker symbol, and let's take a look. So let's jump in. SoundHound is right now after hours down just about 1.9%. Last time, it's actually been a couple weeks since we've covered it, but last time it was selling off, holding below that EMA into November, and we're saying the next level of support would be that it sells down, that it was looking overbought, and that it would sell down to this $11 or $10 range. That's kind of continuing their overall uptrend of capital that they've seen flow in over the last year. It was, just back here, 2024, they were at around $1.50 a share. And at one point in 2024 and 2025, they were up to $24.98 before selling back down, continuing though. And you can see they've been slowly building that market cap. We've had some really good opportunities on them this year, which has been great. And I'm thinking what we're going to want to follow today is we're going to want to look. I'm just seeing a comment here. I'm trying to read your guys' comments. Sorry, I'm looking at what you guys are saying here. What's going on, Johnny? Johnny is looking at AMTM. Would love to take a look. What's up, Johnny? How's it going? BigBear.ai. And Dylan, what's going on, Dylan? Okay. And so SoundHound, very consistent uptrend. You see them start to build that support level, and then they've got, the resistance is going to be kind of like this, with the exception of that large surge up to $24 a share. Maybe even something like this if you're really looking down here and kind of looking at that previous resistance. But for the most part, it's looking something like this, and you'd be looking for a recovery. Now, SoundHound's just pulled down to about $11 a share. They signed some contracts. They're in the AI and voice market. So we see them really get some momentum here. If you're looking at them right now, you're close to what could be what they call a death cross, right? Where it's crossing below the 200-day moving average and it's holding below the EMA. But overall, they've signed a lot of deals. I think they're, one of the top AI companies that's getting put into manufacturing of cars. They've seen that market cap build, and they're in the AI market, which is growing really fast. So financially, I haven't looked super deep in a little bit on SoundHound. Let's see if we can get the financial scoop. $5 billion market cap, 42 million in revenue, net income negative, but 400 million in balance sheet. Yeah, they're trading a little premium still, but hey, in the AI market, it could be that way. I think that they're looking to continue up though. I think they're holding that level. If they can't hold, let's say, this previous resistance level here, right here, and then they cross below that 200-day moving average, then it's looking more bearish for SoundHound. So just keep in mind that's how it's looking right now. And then currently, I'd say risk to reward probably better at this moment than other times. You're looking at potential recovery, with this break right here at a support. Yeah, maybe that would be a nice risk management. But you see the RSI, the MACD oversold. Maybe looking for that recovery. If they do, it's really a pretty large recovery of between 40% to 50% to even as much as 100%. but I would see more contracts roll in before they secure that. Okay, let's head over to Prophecy as well. Let's get an analysis going for Sound. Love to see how it looks currently. Here we are. Is this thing working okay? Let's get SoundHound. There we go. Cool. Okay, and then what's going on, Johnny's AMTM is going to be one we're looking at for sure. And Kevin, what's going on, Kevin? Hola, amigo. Oh man, Elijah commented like a ton of ticker symbols. I don't know that we'll get to them all, but yeah, AMTM 100%. I see a few of you guys, talking about AMTM and BBAI. We could definitely jump in. We just started first ticker symbol. Here's SoundHound. Again, getting that analysis pulled up. We'd like to see what the analysis looks like for Sound. Let's see what we got for projections and how things are looking here. Let's see how things are looking. We can organize this a little bit. And let's see for top transactors. See how things are looking. Taking its time. There we go. Okay, so pretty bullish on SoundHound the next month. According to most AI models, we see bullishness into the next year. It's looking very bullish as well. Anticipated to stabilize around that $15 to $20 range according to Grok. And then in the near term, maybe some corrections over the next day, anticipating a sell down. What would that be? Why would it sell down here? Maybe a retest down to that $11 price point. That's quite possible. We could see something like that. What's going on, Robin? What's up? Yeah, we can take a look at IonQ for sure. IonQ has been seeing some serious funding recently. I think the long term is still looking really good for that company. But yeah, so near term looking a little red here for Sound, and then maybe into that next year though, looking bullish on most models for the projections. Let's see which, according to Rigetti, which time frame has the most likeliness and confidence. Let's see, Rigetti. Is it working here? It's not giving me. We just started integrating it. I was gonna see if we could work it out. Let me see. There it is. 1 week. Okay, so 1 week has the most confidence, anticipating about a 3% gain. So holding above that 200-day moving average here for Sound. Got it. All right, next stock, let's take a look at. We got LUNR from Elvis. Let's take a look at it. So might as well just go over to the Space Tech watch list. And let's take a look here. We were just trading some Space Tech this past month. We started the month off with Redwire quite a bit. But Redwire is still down at a support, and we'll see if it's holding around $5. I like that company. But where is it? LUNR. There it is. Down 2% after hours this evening into tomorrow. You kind of see what we were looking for LUNR. They recently secured some contracts fairly large. You can see the chart finding higher highs since really 2024. See that gradual increase in market cap they just pulled down recently. Here, they did have a little bit of a push down, extra push down below that 200-day moving average and turning a little bit bearish. But if they're going to hold, maybe they can continue this overall uptrend that they've had over the last year. And they're at a support right now, just trying to break back above that EMA, which LUNR is an infrastructure play in space. So they build particularly the infrastructure, these like stations that launch up via NASA or what have you. I think NASA is their main company they work with. And then they help to move cargo and people and things between different vehicles in space and orbit, but also they have some vehicles that are capable of landing on the moon. Okay, and even I think in Mars as well, they got some stuff going on there. What's up? What's going on? How's everybody doing this Sunday? So again, you got a 60% potential recovery on LUNR. They're at $9 a share. If they continue up into that $10 to $15 range, they're at $9 now. $10 to $15 range would be 12% gain to as much as a 70% gain from current prices. So I like the company. I think they're down here. They beat down a little bit. But if you look at the space market, it's the first time that companies are coming very close to turning profits. Their market cap's at 1.7 billion. They're still fairly small for a space company. They're bringing in about 50 million a quarter, which hasn't increased annually too much other than last year. They were up at 100%, over 180% in revenue. So the revenue's doing fine, and their assets are at an all-time high. They've actually managed very well because they had more liabilities, or just almost more liabilities than assets in 2024. I knocked over a water bottle, sorry guys. And then the liabilities here are lower at 500 million. Let me pick this water bottle up. There we go. And the assets are at 750 million. So actually 750 million in assets. I think Lunar has some potential room to run. They have an overall trend here. You can kind of see since March as they've started to build it, and they've pulled back down to a support level. And that's how it looks right now. It looks like they're continuing up. So current chart, you can just see supports and resistance. I personally think LUNR is a company that actually has real infrastructure in space, and they've seen some new contracts. So I think they're a good play. They are just not something that's the most sexy, right? As a company, not everybody's like, oh, I'm going to buy this space company. Maybe people are thinking about it, very bullish. They have turned some profits or some revenue, but it hasn't been something where it's like everybody's talking about LUNR or anything like that. It's not a hyped up stock, but I like it. And I think they got that room to continue their overall uptrend, potentially up into that $14 or $15 range, which would be massive for them, over 50% gain. What else do we got going? Next, ticker symbol, Luis. What's going on, Luis? We got Elvis is looking at Redwire, RDW. So RDW is a company that is really changing the structure of how they originally started. They've gone from primarily space to acquiring some aerial companies down on Earth that are in like UAV, and they've acquired some companies. And honestly, when I look at the chart here, I don't think they look too good. I don't think they look too good with the chart. It looks pretty actually concerning. You see them selling down and selling down. But if you look at them, you know, and you look at this move that they're at right now, and they've sold down to about $5, bounced. It doesn't look good on the chart. There's a death cross. They sold below. They're holding below that EMA, that blue line, which if they are, that's a bearish trend. If they're holding above that blue line, it's a bullish trend. But again, you can just see they've sold down. It doesn't look good. But this is when I buy more. And the reason why is because a lot of investors, if you wanted to take a group of investors and look at all the people that are doing things in the market, and you wanted to have success, it would almost work if you just did the opposite of what most people do. You know, a lot of people see this company in the red. They don't really like it. They say, oh, that's terrible. But this company has some good market tailwinds with the big, beautiful bill. Every defense company was selling off during the government shutdown. Government shutdown is now done. It's all open. Their RSI MACD is at an basically all-time low. Okay, they are here, sold down to 487. And their cash is at an all-time high. So if we look at Redwire's financials, they're at $900 million market cap. And their quarterly revenue is at $100 million last quarter. So their revenue is up 50% right now. And while their net income is still a bit negative, you can see they've been increasing their revenue every single year. And so with increasing revenues, you look at that and you say, okay, $100 million a year, $900 million company, that's kind of fair. Then you look at their balance sheet. They've grown their balance sheet to all-time highs. So while their stock has been selling off from the highs that we saw back in January of $26 a share, and it sold all the way down here to $4 a share. While they've been selling off, they've actually grown their revenue by 50%, and they've grown their total assets by 400%, and their current equity sits at $1 billion in positive equity, which is greater than their current market cap. So as of right now, it looks like Redwire is undervalued. If you're going to look at, their current level that they're at right now, they look quite undervalued. And so that's why I think they're probably a top company. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I love when somebody recommends a stock and it's like one that I already like. That's really cool. What else do we got? So yeah, again, short term, you got a support around 487. Nearest term target is a 34% increase up to 750. So that would take some risk management. It's probably volatile again. Up to 40% gain up to $7 if it can continue. And then the long term, I mean, yeah, if you see it get halfway to where it used to be, you're looking at over 100% return for Redwire. That's how it looks. What else do we got going on? You got LUNR. What's going on? Durante Gordon says LAC. Hello, sir. Can you look at Zeta? Yeah. So BigBear.ai, we just covered it yesterday, Thomas. Nothing has really changed since yesterday. All I can tell you, is if we take a look at BigBear.ai real quick, I can just tell you, nothing has changed. No articles came out yesterday, really. They're on this very consistent uptrend. Okay, so they've been building from $1 a share up to about $6. I still hold my long-term positions at $2.80, and I'll continue to. If they're going to continue this uptrend, they're going to break out above 650. That's where they got their resistance. Now, when we were looking at this resistance on Friday, and we did a video on it yesterday for Big Bear, we were looking at that resistance as a potential level that they could get rejected at 650 and sell back down into that $5 range. Now, we wouldn't want to see that as a holder, but we might be pleasantly surprised in the trading opportunity that could present into tomorrow. And so as you can see, it did get rejected at that 650. It is kind of holding below, and it might sell back down into that $5.50 range that's been consolidating from left to right since early November. And if it does, that's healthy. That's totally fine. As they beat earnings this last quarter and they had some increases in cash, I think they're doing well. They got runway. But what the bulls would like to see is, and this is where if we see a breakout, either way, we may trade it tomorrow. If it starts to sell off, we might wait and be more patient. But if it pushes up tomorrow, breaks out above 650, we might be looking for this next level of around 750 to 850 a share. 750 would be an 18% increase, and 850 would be a 35% increase. And then, of course, we're eyeing same way that we were eyeing it back in June when we were looking for them to recover back up to $10 or around. They made that recovery, hit resistance, sold back down into $4. Then we were looking for, after that earnings, for them to make their way and recover back up to $9 or $10 again. They did that and made higher highs. Now they're back down to that $5 range. We're looking once again for Big Bear to continue and recover, if not make higher highs above that $10 range. And now it's taking some time. We'll see how the institutions kind of are attracted to it. But that's really where it's at right now. So hopefully that's helpful. What else do we got going on? Yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you. I mean, I did a full breakdown on all like the contracts and the revenue. That's the special things that they're kind of like going into the nuances of all the different markets they're kind of like tapping into, their Palantir partnership and stuff. We went over it in our video yesterday on the channel. Okay, what else do we have? Dylan, what's going on? Cybersecurity stocks. I like CTM. CTM is the only like unhyped solid AI play that I like. They're up after hours or holding right now, and their next target in my eyes is up into this $1.15 range to $1.32 range. That's a 27% increase. We did a video on them yesterday as well. What else do you have? ONDS and DPro. Daryl says you got a few. All right. ONDS. Let's go over to our drone tech. Ondas. They're down 4%. Let's see what we were last looking at here. We were anticipating a sell down from this $9 range into from $9 to 740. And we actually did see that 16% sell down. We saw that move. Wow. Okay. So on Friday, no, was it Friday? No, Wednesday. We're anticipating a sell down, that they were in their overall uptrend on this. You can see this overall uptrend through November. You guys see this? You got higher high, support, higher support, higher support, higher support. See that higher resistance there? Very consistent uptrend on Ondas, throughout November. And then we were looking, saying, hey, look at that resistance up here around that $8.90 range. They did sell back down about 15% to $7 a share for recovering now a little bit after hours. But yeah, no, they're down 5% right now with the potential recovery. If they can kind of continue, it's possible that they will. But yeah, right now where they're at, they're kind of looking to bounce from $7, which they kind of did, back to $7.50. But they're looking to bounce up to $9 a share, continue that overall uptrend as they did secure some contracts recently. So that would be a 20% increase if they can continue this overall uptrend with a support level, or kind of like stop in a shorter term trade. You look there. Long term, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the company enough. I can't give you a definitive answer on that one, because I know that there's a lot of people talking about this stock. They got some contracts. They work with like drone tech and trains and mission critical networks and all that, but I don't know about their financials. Revenue's been increasing. They're at 10 million a quarter. Balance sheet is at 550 million. And their market cap's at 2.9 billion. So their PE ratio is very high still. So I would be cautiously bullish, kind of like what that article says. And let's see what else we got here. Did I say that Bitcoin was dead? Cap bounce, that money will see all selling with almost maybe end of December, have 2 million layoffs total. Watch the Bloomberg D-Low, thinking close over $14. Got you. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I hold 50% of my wealth in Bitcoin personally. Not including like our main company. 50% goes into Bitcoin. But guys, I actually got a roll here. Wanted to do a quick analysis on APLD for Gainer there. Appreciate you in the chat. APLD was fairly bullish. You can see some of these projections over the next month, 4%. And 1 year is looking very bullish. I've never seen the AI models looking this bullish. 48% projection over the next year to stabilize around a $40 price point. NVIDIA was one of the top buyers. Look at that. NVIDIA has been buying APLD stock. So I like the company. They're down to 27. They've recovered from 20 up to 27 now. And we were anticipating that with APLD. So we're going to watch throughout the next week. When it comes to RZLV, Cheddar, I personally would not buy that company because they got more liabilities than assets. Same thing with DVLT. DVLT, I don't really trust their marketing. I think that they're fairly manipulative, and you should be careful of how they market. They kind of have some manipulative marketing, and it doesn't seem to be accurate, or they're like one of the companies that talks about how there's big market, but they aren't actually maybe providing a lot of value to it, and their stock seeing manipulation. That's why it kind of like a pump and dump. So I would just watch out for that. RZLV along with DVLT, those companies. AMTM, Brian, I did an analysis on it earlier today actually, and I really like AMTM. AMTM is they just secured $1 billion contract, and their market cap is not even close. I don't think it's maybe 5 billion or something. They're doing great. PLG, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that one. Rich Tech Robotics, I wouldn't touch it personally. I want to go into, guys, but it's just I've gone into them so many times, and every time it's been kind of the same with some of those. So that's why I'm just telling you my initial opinion. But if you tell me something in the chat like, hey, this changed, or did you see this came out for the company, then maybe we can reevaluate that. And PLG, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know what's going on. PLG, Platinum Metals Group. I think I've heard of this stock. PLG stock. Let's take a look real quick. Platinum Metals Group, $2.45, very low market cap, negative net income. They have some cash, but they're losing money. I wouldn't touch them. Losing money, $2 a share. High manipulation. Maybe they continue up, but I would be a little more cautious on that. So I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. And PLG, I just haven't looked at it, guys. But I just looked at it recently. Negative net income. It looks like it's more hype. So I'm not convinced. We could take a look at the website, but it looks a little bit more hypey. Let's see. Ion batteries, investors. Okay. Yeah. Just be a little more careful. They're losing money. Just be careful. Anyway, appreciate you all. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Friendly reminder, 2 things. Number 1, Prophecy. If you want the access to the AI app, we use it every day in the Monday market opens. Also, if you want Monday market open live sessions and a free t-shirt, Black Friday is ending soon. It's the second link in the description, the second link below to tune in to our daily live trading session tomorrow. See if any opportunities present themselves. You can see my entries, see my exits, and surround yourself with like-minded investors. Again, the second link below. Would love to see you there at Market Open. And then when it comes to this, if you wanted to get lifetime access to StockMate, those daily live trading sessions, you could go and get the Black Friday sale in the second link below. But if you want to get it for free as a bonus and get 1-year access to our AI platform here, the machine here, that I do all my analysis and see all the projections, and we're using quantum analysis and see the companies buying and selling, and you can use Grok and OpenAI and Claude and Gemini's and all the best models paired with how I do analysis into the system. Then it's the first link in the description, and you could be there for our training day on Thursday. I would love to see you there for our daily or our weekly implementation training day for the machine. If you haven't learned about it, you can go to my live videos on the channel, or you can click the first link in the description and get in and unlock StockMate here for free. Appreciate you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing.